Hey, good morning. It's Friday, May 27th. So great to have you here, and welcome to my channel, Everyday Talk 24/7. Got two videos today. Got the Q&A Friday coming up later on today. Some phenomenal questions. Just hope the answers are at least somewhat helpful. I'm really looking forward to that, and you'll get that later on today. Really, thank you so much for your questions. Really good questions, probing questions. Things that we need to answer and have courage about answering. But I wanted to start the day and help us focus on hope. Because again, it's been another week of activities in the United States and really so many places around the world where it's just discouraging. Things are not the way they ought to be. And we can really lose focus. But this morning, we're outside. You're getting to see the clouds move behind me. The Bible tells us that God is moving those clouds for particular purposes. And if God is doing something, that brings hope. And hope is what I want to talk about this morning. Where is your hope? Because if it's in all the circumstances, if it's things about getting better in this life, if it's about government starting to do the right thing, if it's about people starting to do good, your hope will be crushed. But if our hope is where David says it should be, if it's in God and God alone, then we have hope. Psalm 62 is a really challenging piece of art because it has a bunch of discouraging things in the psalm, but wrapped around the core of it is hope. And I'm going to read those sections that give us hope, and they're a reminder, an encouragement, a challenge to us to stop looking for things that people can't give, situations can't give, politicians can't give, laws, hope. Even going to church, trying to do the right thing. None of those things can give hope. What David is saying here, I'm going to read the opening lines and then stanza out of the middle. I wait quietly before God, for my victory comes from Him. He alone is my rock and my salvation. He alone is my rock and my salvation. My fortress, where I will never be shaken. There are things around us, swirling around us, that shake us to our core. But if God is our refuge, our fortress, our hope, we have a foundation that will never be shaken, even if everything else around us appears to crumble. That's the introduction. And then the middle stanza, this emphasis again of let all that I am wait quietly before God, for my hope is in Him. And this waiting on God, particularly in the Psalms and in this Old Testament setting, is very much like the Spirit's fruit of patience. Patience is living in the expectation of God's care. That's what David's doing here. He knows God's going to make things right. He's certain of it. That's his hope. It's not just maybe I hope. He's certain of it. So he waits for that. It's not an anxious waiting. It's not a waiting, oh, I hope it works out. But a confident certainty that God will be faithful. And that's what we need in these really hard times. That all that I am, in other words, he's saying this takes energy, trust, faith, that all that I am, wait quietly before God because my hope is in Him. He alone is my rock and my salvation, my fortress where I will not be shaken. He's repeating the first lines of the song. My victory and honor come from God alone. He is my refuge, a rock where no enemy can reach me. See what he's saying here? Even though it appears that the enemies are reaching, they're not, because God is my hope. And then he cries out to all of us, oh my people, trust in Him at all times. Pour out your hearts to Him, for God is our refuge. I would say that to us this morning. Those of you who are watching, those of you who want to serve God, through the Spirit of God, David is saying to us, "Oh, my people, trust in him at all times. Pour out your heart to him, for God is our refuge." Pour out your heart about all the hard things that are happening, both all around us and probably in your own life, where you feel hope evaporating. What David is saying to you and to me, that all that I am, wait quietly before God, for my hope is in him. And that's the thought for this day. Your hope is not in everybody else changing. It's not in the kids changing. It's not in the government changing. It's not that there's going to be somehow an end to the violence and the ugliness of the human heart. Our hope is in the faithfulness of God. Let's pour our hearts out to God. Tell him where we are. But then know that with all that's in us, with all of our strength, with all of our hope, that all that I am, wait quietly before the Lord. For he is, my hope is in him. I don't need to be panicked. I don't need to be out of control. But I can wait quietly before God because he is faithful. He alone is our rock, our salvation, our hope. And that's the thought for this Friday morning. Really looking forward to seeing you later on today where we get into some really cool questions. Thanks so much for being here. And Lord willing, we'll see you today. You have a great day knowing where your hope is. Lord bless.